and welcome to the LMS show. Give yourselves a big hand. Seen in the U.S., Canada, and countries around the world, this is the place you want to be, the LMS show. My name is Lenny Matthews, and during the next half hour, we have two exciting guests. The godson, he said he's the godson of James Brown. We'll hear about that later on. And Otis Walls will be on later on too in the program. We always have some words of wisdom from Otis. Give Otis a big hand, everybody. MC still been around. Met this young gentleman down when Rob Harris was, you all know Rob. Rob do Sam Cooke. Well, anyway, I met this gentleman down there, and he said he's the godson of, ow! I feel good. James Brown. Papa got a brand new bag. I feel like a sex machine. Soul power. What you need is soul power. I don't want nobody to give me nothing. Open up the door. I get it myself. People don't do that too much, and they rely on everybody today. And well, the end you're going to see the end result going to be on that. Huh. Without no further ado, what's your name, my brother?
How you feel, Lenny?
No, what's your name? What's the name?
Earl Swindell, my stage name.
No, hold. This is my show. Okay. Give us your name one more time.
Earl Swindell.
Ladies and gentlemen, give us Earl Swindell. Earl, how are you?
I'm doing great, man.
You feel good?
I feel good. I'm not going to scream, but I feel good.
Like you're proud.
I want to ask you something. Yeah. Your relationship with Mr. Brown, how did you meet Mr. Brown?
I first met Mr. Brown actually coming out of Stage Deli on 54th and 7th Avenue.
Oh, okay.
I see him downtown a couple of times. Mm-hmm. Every time I see him, he give me $20 like I was his friend or something. But we became friends, and eventually I became his valet. I was backstage at Apollo and with some people, and he called me to his dressing room, and he was my idol. So he called me to the dressing room. I went to the dressing room, and I always want to work for him, You
always wanted to work for him?
Always, yeah. When I was growing up, I was shining my shoe was shining, man. I was doing the dance like Brown down in North Carolina, and I said one day I'm going to work for James Brown or Little Richard. And
well, you got a chance to beat Little. You said you got a chance to beat Little Richard.
Yeah, I'm in baby record business, really. I'm in baby record business. Everybody else.
Baby, all these other, they hostess, huh?
Yeah, they don't know the real. They don't. Anybody that's singing music now, like Art Kelly and them like that, they know from their mother and father.
But they learn from their parents, right?
Yeah. But I worked for all them people. I learned like it was school to me. But Mr. Brown, he called me to the dressing room, and I asked him if I work for him. He asked me that I want to work for him.
Oh,
he beat me to it, man. So I can't say no.
How long you been working for him during that time?
I worked for Brown actually from 1972 up to you might well say in the 80s. Then he left for Apollo Brown, went down to down to Augusta, Georgia. Mm-hmm. But we always stayed in contact with each other. So when he ever did shows in the New York area, I always came around. He made sure I was around anyway. He got people. Sometimes I have people to call me.
Well, why you call yourself the godson of James Brown?
Well, he took me as a son.
Took you as a son.
He took me as a son. Sometimes a nephew and little brother. Yes. But I learned a lot from him.
What did you learn from him?
I learned the record business from him. I learned how to say no to a person who could smile in your face, making you think they're gonna be real with you. You gotta say no to them because they're jabbing you.
They're stringing you along, huh?
Yeah, they're jabbing you. So you gotta say no to them because you say yeah, you're in trouble. Like shaking a man's hand, you don't know him. The same man's hand you shake before the night over, you got to end up killing the same man. I experienced that in Vegas. Mr. Brown told me, even though I was young,
What happened in Vegas?
Yeah, we did a show in Vegas. I was a young boy, young kid, and but as far as I'm concerned, I'm part of the organization. So at the show, before the show started, the same guy wanted to meet us. At that time, I went to the bus with the guy in the band. I rode with the band sometimes.
What happened?
So they wanted to break up the show. So I saw some guy, another guy, want to make a move, so I got involved, stopped the guy. So Mr. Brown called to the dressing room, said, Earl, you know, should not be involved in something. I said, Mr. Brown, I'm a member of the organization. He said, you're right, you know, so you learn things, you know, that you're not gonna learn in school. So I took it, you know, being in school, but being with him, you know.
Mr. Brown, when he passed away on Christmas Day.
Yeah, I was probably for
How did you take to that when he passed away?
Like a young boy, a young kid, I would say, losing his older brother, you know, and it was a deep thing. I was a pallbearer at the funeral.
Did they had that thing in Augusta, right?
The one in New York.
The New York brother Apollo Theater.
Yeah.
I remember, I think Reverend Sharp officiated that.
Yeah, he came, he brought the body from Augusta.
You know, James Brown used to, you know, he made a move. One thing, he was bold though. He made a move that back in the early 60s, he said, well, I'm going to sit back and I want to make an album. He wanted, I think at that time, King Records to finance it, had 81 finances. So he said, well, look, I'll do it myself. He sat back up there and ran out the whole Apollo Theater and filmed, and he recorded a live at Apollo. And that record, that album became the #2 album in the country.
Yeah, he believed in himself.
He believed in himself. He believed in himself. Yeah. And they were so surprised that this record sat back there and sold over. So it's still selling, come to think of it.
Mr. Brown would spend $25,000 to prove that you're wrong against your $10. He was that way. To show you he was right. Most times he was right too, you know, but he showed me a lot of things, and I'm glad he did, because ain't nobody around now that would teach us stuff. Mr. Brown, you know, he come from come up hard.
But look like today, it look like no one, want to teach anybody anything today, right?
People don't care no more. The world come to the end. That's what's happening. That's why God do all these things and do all this stuff to show people. You know, you're going against my will. I'm going to. Hey, you don't mean it. I don't mean it to you. He gave his only son to the world, and look what the world is doing now.
You sang gospel too. You sang gospel, right?
Yeah, I sang gospel. I did a Chain Gonna Come during that time when Michael Jackson did We Are the World, and RL was programmed by Chain Gonna Come along with the world. I didn't know it, you know, till my aunt told me.
You got some pictures of you and Mr. Brown.
Yeah, this is when me and Mr. Brown we did this. That's when we both were young. Everybody, yeah.
So you gotta have a mother for me.
That's when we did live from the Apollo album, where he stand behind the bar. They didn't use that for that picture, but there was a picture of Mr. Brown, and the guy did it had me behind him. That's from California.
Thank you. And okay, you have another picture with you and Mr. Brown, right?
Yeah, this is about 4 years before he died.
Okay.
That's what Reverend Sharpton had from the National Network, and they gave him the.
You have another picture with you and Mr. Brown, right?
Yeah, this is about 4 years before he died.
Okay.
That's what Reverend Sharpton had from the National Network, and they gave him to honor him that year for the Martin Luther King thing.
Yeah.
This is a big one, you can see. I got the microphone from my publicist.
Okay, we'll do this real fast, because I want public access. They're gonna say I'm advertising.
Yeah. It's all right.
No, they're all right. They take me off the air, brother. They take me off the air, brother.
Little kids in trouble, so they better advertise me.
Well, I need some advertising too.
Yeah.
You can't take me off there. Okay.
I got to sing for the kids.
Okay, all right.
The kids have no education no more.
Oh, all right. Do you think Mr. Brown? I remember he had a record called "Don't Be a Dropout," and one thing he pleaded the kids to stay in school. Do you think the kids, stay in school now?
No.
Well,
no. Most not that they should, because a lot of them, they think about what's more in the street. A lot of them kids want to spend more time in the street than when they're in school. Unfortunately,
Well, that's for another show. Why they do that?
Yeah. It's going to change, though.
But he believed in education, though. That's one thing for sure. He didn't believe in education.
Yeah, you want to try to make something out yourself? Make something out yourself. You'll help you. Make something out yourself. You're gonna do
I don't know how to reveal this. I I love Mr. Brown. I'm a big fan of his. Every time I used to see him on TV, I used to run and see him on television.
Man, when I was a little kid, man, I know Mr. Brown be on TV, Merle Griffith show, Mike Douglas. I couldn't get home fast.
Yeah, he was the co-host.
Yeah.
He was the co-host.
I got a
Mike
chance to go to Philadelphia places with him when we were doing shows like that.
Yeah, Mike.
Mike
I like Mike Douglas. You know, he's one of the few talk show hosts. No, I'm taking away from Oprah now, but I love Mike Douglas. I think he was a little more down to earth.
Yeah, he
I'm
was.
not saying Oprah's not down to earth now, but Mike,
yeah.
I liked him. Mike had a nice show. I mean, Mike used to go over the edge.
Yeah.
Cause he's at Mom's Mabley and all them. You know, he went over. He went over the edge.
At that time, we broadcast in Philadelphia. When I used to go to Philadelphia with Mr. Brown when he did Mike Douglas show. And Dick Clark was that.
Yeah, Dick Clark. Yeah. You know, there was a story about the Rolling Stones, and they were performing in no, there was a teenage show. They had all the acts on there from the '60s.
The Tammy show.
Yeah, the Tammy show.
Yeah.
Remember what happened? Remember that Tammy show where
I know when Mick Jagger had to follow behind Mr. Brown,
and he could not go on the stage. He could not go on that stage after Mr. Brown turned out the place. If you ever
Up this day, Mick Jagger still got that on his mind.
Yeah.
Of this day.
Yeah, cause I remember I was watching the tape interview. You know, the late Dick Clark mentioned that. He said, he said, well, you know, that was he kind of didn't forget about that. It was a hard act.
Yeah. He was. We down south doing a show somewhere, and I saw Mr. Brown jump up in the air, did a split, and jump back up. That's the bad thing that was in my life. I don't care
But
what
he could still perform though. I mean, he gave you. Cause remember, Michael Jackson always mentioned. You know, I had a DVD at home of Michael. It was B.B. King, James Brown, and all of a sudden, James Brown out of audience said, "We have a special guest," and this guy came out with us disguise, and it was Michael Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
And Michael Jackson came on that stage, and he did some moves. I mean, he would moonwalk. He was doing everything just like what Mr. Brown was doing.
Michael was a nice young man. I met Michael.
Yeah, you met Michael?
I met him a few times. Yeah.
What kind
I mean,
of
everybody record business. I'm a very record business, like I say.
Yeah. You're the baby of the record business.
Yeah. But the Mighty Clouds of Georgia, Swanee Quintet, all of them. I come from the gospel thing. I was on Sunday.
You know, they had that song, Mighty, you know, Mighty Clouds Georgia have Mighty High.
Yeah.
Listen to my story, ride the mighty high, take the load off your mind.
I was sneaking through the window, because my dad used to always write all the gospel things to the house, and not to sneak it through the window, because when you're a young guy, a young kid, you had to wait for them to finish eating before you could eat.
Oh yeah,
And all the chicken, I said, man, I gotta hit this thing, man. I get me a stew, I sneak through the kitchen window and get my piece of chicken, man, for them gospel, they is everything. For real, man.
What do you do? What we thank you for the tribute for Mr. Brown. What are you currently planning to do?
Well, this is
what you gonna do with yourself, brother?
Well, this is the I did in honor of Mr. Brown called "Bring Back the Funk," and the oldest bassist I played with Mr. Brown like 35 years. He's on it with me.
Okay.
And I want to sing to help these kids, man. You know, I'm very serious about that. That's why I named myself Third World Earl. I didn't know that I named myself Third World Earl when I was a little boy. A little cousin of mine told me when we were growing up, little kid, I told him one day when I grow up, I would call myself Third World Earl. I forgot all about it. But God gave me the insight to see a lot of these things going on in the world today. You know, in other words, living is going out of style. A man would kill another man over 5 cents.
Well, look, we had an incident here, you know, and I don't want, you know, whereas these two, this boy was going to shoot the other boy on the bus. Yeah. Over in Brooklyn, you know.
Well, they lost. A lot of kids got lost. They do them kind of things.
You know, I think it was lost since the '70s because lost since the '70s when they had when they got rid of all the programs. Yeah. Man, always been talking about that. You know, they got rid of all the programs, and you know, this is the end result. Yeah. But they don't seem to care because they still play along, you know. Yeah. You know, the politicians play their house of cards and everything else.
Well, I think the pros are going to do something to help a lot of the kids. He is already, you know, he tried to block it, you know. Yeah, well, that's another story and stuff. Yeah. I'd like to thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, sir.
And ladies and gentlemen, what's the name?
Third World Earl.
Third World. I don't give a Third World Earl.